The Bourne Identity is a 2002 American action thriller film directed by Doug Liman and written by Tony Gilroy and William Blake Herron. Based on Robert Ludlum's 1980 novel of the same name, it is the first installment in the Bourne franchise, and stars Matt Damon, Franka Potente, Chris Cooper, Clive Owen, Brian Cox, and Adewale Akinyi-Igbeji. In the film, Jason Bourne, Damon, has psychogenic amnesia and is forced to fight to unlock his identity and his mysterious connection to the CIA. Attempts to develop a feature film adaptation of Ludlum's novel first began in 1981 but stalled after being passed to different distributors, with Warner Brothers producing a television film adaptation in 1988. Liman revived the feature film project in 1996 and worked with Ludlum and David Self on its screenplay after Gilroy initially declined. Gilroy made several changes to the script upon joining, with additional contributions from Herron. After Damon and Potente were cast, principal photography began in October 2000 and lasted until February 2001, with filming taking place in Paris, Prague, Imperia, Rome, Mykonos, and Zurich. Production was troubled. The creators frequently clashed with studio executives over delays, costs, last-minute changes, and unexpected reshoots. Originally set for release in September 2001, it was theatrically released in the United States on June 14, 2002, by Universal Pictures. The film received positive reviews from critics, with many considering it one of the most influential action films of all time and grossed $214 million worldwide on a budget of $60 million. It was followed by the sequels The Bourne Supremacy, 2004, The Bourne Ultimatum, 2007, The Bourne Legacy, 2012, and Jason Bourne, 2016. Plot. In the Mediterranean Sea, Italian fishermen rescue an American man adrift with 2 gunshot wounds in his back. Tending to his wounds, they find he has amnesia but shows fluency in several languages. A tiny laser projector found implanted in his hip gives the number of a safe deposit box in Zurich, so he goes to investigate. While there, he discovers he is highly trained in hand-to-hand combat after incapacitating 2 Zurich police officers in a park. In the deposit box he finds various currencies, passports, IDs with different names, and a handgun. The man takes everything but the gun and starts using the name on the American passport, Jason Bourne. After Bourne's departure, a bank employee contacts Operation Treadstone, a CIA Black Ops program. Its head, Alexander Conklin, issues alerts to police to capture Bourne and assigns 3 agents, codenamed Kastel, Mannheim, and the Professor, to kill him. CIA Deputy Director Ward Abbott contacts Conklin about a failed assassination attempt against exiled African dictator Wombosi, who promises to deal with the agent who failed. Bourne evades the Swiss police by using his U.S. passport to enter the American consulate but is pursued by Marine guards. Bourne escapes after offering $20,000 to Marie Kreutz, a 26-year-old German woman he saw at the consulate, to drive him to an address in Paris. From the apartment, Bourne uses the phone to contact a hotel to inquire about the names on his passports. A John Michael Caine was registered but died 2 weeks before in a car crash. Kastel ambushes Bourne and Marie in the apartment, but Bourne gets the upper hand. Instead of allowing himself to be interrogated, Kastel throws himself from a window to his death. While searching through Kastel's belongings, Marie finds wanted posters of Bourne and herself and so she agrees to help him. After they evade the police in Marie's car, they spend the night in a Paris hotel. Meanwhile, Wombosi obsesses over the attempt on his life. Conklin, having anticipated this, has planted a body identified as John Michael Caine in a Paris morgue to appear to be the assailant. Wombosi is unconvinced and threatens to report the CIA's actions to the media. The Professor then assassinates Wombosi on Conklin's orders. Bourne, posing as Caine, learns about the failed assassination attempt on Wombosi's yacht, and that the assassin was shot twice in the back during the escape, ultimately realizing that he was responsible for the attempt. He and Marie take refuge in the French countryside home of Marie's half-brother Eamon and his children. Under pressure from Abbott to handle the matter, Conklin tracks Bourne's location and sends the professor to kill him. Bourne mortally wounds the professor, who reveals their shared connection to Treadstone before dying. Bourne sends Marie, Eamon, and the children away for their protection. He then contacts Conklin via the professor's phone, and they agree to meet alone in Paris. When Bourne sees that Conklin is not alone, he abandons their meeting but places a tracking device on his car, leading Bourne to the Treadstone safe house in Paris. He breaks in and holds Conklin and logistics technician Nicky Parsons at gunpoint. Conklin reveals his association with Treadstone and presses him to remember his past. Bourne recalls his attempt to assassinate Wombosi through successive flashbacks. Under orders from Treadstone, Bourne had infiltrated Wombosi's yacht and got close enough to assassinate him and make it appear as if he had been murdered by a member of his own entourage. However, Bourne could not kill Wombosi while his children were present, and believing he would have to kill the children too, he instead fled, being shot during his escape and losing his memory. Bourne announces he is resigning from Treadstone and warns Conklin not to follow him. As agents descend on the safe house, he fights his way out. As Conklin leaves, he is killed by Mannheim under Abbott's orders. Abbott later shuts down Treadstone using Conklin's right hand Danny Zorn. Both of them report to an oversight committee that Treadstone is a decommissioned former program of theoretical game scenario exercises before diverting the discussion to a new project codenamed Blackbriar. Sometime later, Bourne finds Marie renting out scooters to tourists on Mykonos, and they reunite. Cast: Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, Franka Potente as Marie Kreutz, Chris Cooper as Alexander Conklin, Clive Owen as the Professor, Brian Cox as Ward Abbott, Adewale Akinyi-Agbaje as Wombosi, Gabriel Mann as Zorn, Walton Goggins and Josh Hamilton as CIA research techs. In addition, Julia Stiles appears as Nicolette, Nicky Parsons, in a role that would be elevated to main cast billing in 3 later films of the Bourne franchise. Other actors in the film include Orso Maria Guarini as Giancarlo, Tim Dutton as Eamon, Dennis Bracchini as Pico, Nicky Node as Castel, Russell Levy as Mannheim, and Vincent Franklin as Rollins. 3. Production. Development. Attempts to develop a film adaptation of the Bourne identity began in 1981, when film producer Anthony Lazzarino and Ludlum's literary agent Henry Morrison's company Windwood/Glen Productions purchased the film rights to the novel shortly after its publication. Morrison left the company shortly afterwards, and Lazzarino optioned the film to Orion Pictures in exchange for a 3.75% interest and a presentation credit. This option was eventually acquired by Warner Brothers Pictures, which intended to make a film adaptation directed by Jack Clayton and starring Burt Reynolds. However, the film did not move forward because Reynolds was uninterested. Warner Brothers produced a television adaptation of the novel for ABC in 1988, but otherwise did nothing with its option and allowed the rights to revert to the Ludlum estate in 1999. 11-12. Director Doug Liman had been a fan of the source novel by Robert Ludlum since he read it in high school. Near the end of production of Lyman's previous film Swingers in 1996, Liman decided to develop a film adaptation of the novel. However, he could not initially move forward with the project because Warner Brothers still owned the film rights. 13. After more than 2 years of securing rights to the book and a further year of screenplay development with screenwriter Tony Gilroy, the film went through 2 years of production. 14. Universal Pictures acquired the film rights to Ludlum's books in the hopes of starting a new film franchise, and because studio CEO Stacy Snyder later admitted to being intrigued by the pairing of an independent-minded filmmaker with a familiar studio genre. 15. Ludlum approved of the adaptation after befriending Liman, who repeatedly visited the author's home to consult him. 13. Writing. David Self was brought in to write the screenplay in 1999 after Gilroy initially declined the offer. His screenplay was more faithful to the original novel. 16. Unlike Lyman, Gilroy disliked Ludlum's novels and considered them poorly suited to a film adaptation, calling Self's original script a huge 15 gunman on the metro blowing the fuck out of everything kind of movie. However, Gilroy agreed to write a new screenplay for the film after Lyman took his advice to abandon everything from the original novel except for the basic plot involving a guy who finds the only thing he knows how to do is kill people. Gilroy subsequently rewrote almost the entire film, although William Blake Herron was later brought in to rewrite Gilroy's script to have more action. Most of Herron's rewrites were abandoned after Matt Damon threatened to quit the role of Bourne if they were included in support of Lyman and Gilroy, but Herron still received a writer's credit after the opening scene he composed for the film was included. 1317. Gilroy's new script rewrote the Treadstone program and its director Alexander Conklin into the film's primary antagonists. In the novel both they and Bourne had been pursuing the terrorist Carlos the Jackal, and Treadstone had only tried to assassinate Bourne because they believed he had deliberately gone rogue from his mission after his amnesia. Carlos the Jackal could not appear as an antagonist in the film at all because in real life he had been captured and imprisoned by the French government in 1994. 17. The film's portrayal of Treadstone was inspired by Lyman's father Arthur L. Lyman's memoirs regarding his involvement as chief counsel for the United States Senate investigation of the Iran-Contra affair. Many aspects of the Alexander Conklin character were based on his father's recollections of Oliver North. Gilroy also abandoned the novel's original backstory for Bourne as a former Foreign Service officer recruited to the United States Army Special Forces during the Vietnam War after his family had been killed in the secret bombing of Cambodia, and posing as an assassin named Kane to lure Carlos out of hiding. 17. Lyman admitted that he jettisoned much of the content of the novel beyond the central premise, in order to modernize the material and to conform it to his own beliefs regarding United States foreign policy. However, Lyman was careful not to cram his political views down the audience's throat. There were initial concerns regarding the film's possible obsolescence and overall reception in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. 14. As a result, producer Frank Marshall reshot a new ending in which Ward Abbott offers to recruit Bourne back to the CIA and abandons the agency's pursuit of him even after he declines. The ending was not included in the theatrical cut because it was deemed too different from the rest of the film. 1317. Casting. Damon. In 2001, Lyman approached a wide range of actors for the role of Bourne, including Brad Pitt 15, who turned it down to star in Spy Game 18, as well as Russell Crowe, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Cruise, and Sylvester Stallone, before he eventually cast Damon. Lyman found that Damon understood and appreciated that, though the Bourne identity would have its share of action, the focus was primarily on character and plot. 19. Damon, who had never played such a physically demanding role, insisted on performing many of the stunts himself. With stunt choreographer Nick Powell, he underwent 3 months of extensive training in stunt work, the use of weapons, boxing, and the Filipino martial art eskrima. He eventually performed a significant number of the film's stunts himself, including hand-to-hand combat and climbing the safe house walls near the film's conclusion. 20. Lyman initially intended to cast Sarah Polley in the role of Marie, but she declined. After Franka Potente was cast instead, the role was rewritten from a Canadian economist to a German drifter. 17. Filming. Filming began in October 2000. 21-22. From the onset of filming, difficulties with the studio slowed the film's development and caused a rift between Lyman, Gilroy, and Universal Pictures. The first problem started after Lyman and Damon demanded the abandonment of Herron's rewritten script shortly before production started, despite the fact that extensive preparations had already been made to film it. 13. Lyman also insisted on shooting the film on location in Paris rather than the cheaper option of Montreal, despite the fact that this meant the film's French-speaking crew was unable to understand the English-speaking cast and director. 17. Executives were unhappy with the film's pacing, emphasis on small-scale action sequences, and the general relationship between themselves and Lyman, who was suspicious of direct studio involvement. 23. The film's original producer Richard N. Gladstein also quit the film at the beginning of production due to his wife's pregnancy, resulting in delays until he was replaced by Frank Marshall. Citation needed. Lyman demanded a number of reshoots and rewrites late in development and throughout production, sometimes in the middle of a shoot. 1317. This resulted in scheduling problems which delayed the film from its original release target date of September 2001 to June 2002 and took it $8 million over budget from the initial budget of $60 million. Gilroy faxed elements of screenplay rewrites almost throughout the entire duration of filming. 23 particular points of contention with regard to the original Gilroy script were the scenes set in the farmhouse near the film's conclusion. Lyman and Matt Damon fought to keep the scenes in the film after they were excised in a third-act rewrite that was insisted upon by the studio. Lyman and Damon argued that, though the scenes were low-key, they were integral to the audience's understanding of the Bourne character and the film's central themes. The farmhouse sequence consequently went through many rewrites from its original incarnation before its inclusion in the final product. 23. Although Marshall ultimately sided with Lyman to get the farmhouse sequence filmed, they got into an intense fight on set after Lyman abruptly insisted on another reshoot to record a shot he had forgotten to include. 13. Other issues included poor test audience reactions to the film's Paris finale. The latter required a late return to location in order to shoot a new, more action-oriented conclusion to the Paris story arc involving a large explosion. 1724. This ending was also cut after the studio and Marshall decided that the film could not include an explosion after September 11. 17. In addition to Paris, filming took place in Prague, Imperia, Rome, Mykonos, and Zurich. Several scenes set in Zurich were also filmed in Prague. 14. Damon described the production as a struggle, citing the early conflicts that he and Lyman had with the studio, but denied that it was an overly difficult process, stating, "When I hear people saying that the production was a nightmare, it's like, a nightmare? Shooting's always hard, but we finished." 25. Lyman's directorial method was often hands-on. Many times he operated the camera himself in order to create what he believed was a more intimate relationship between himself, the material, and the actors. He felt that this connection was lost if he simply observed the recording on a monitor. This was a mindset he developed from his background as a small-scale indie filmmaker. 20. The acclaimed car chase sequence was filmed primarily by the second unit under director Alexander Witt. The unit shot in various locations around Paris while Lyman was filming the main story arc elsewhere in the city. The finished footage was eventually edited together to create the illusion of a coherent journey. Lyman confessed that anyone who really knows Paris will find it illogical, since few of the locations used in the car chase actually connect to each other. 24. Lyman took only a few of the shots himself. His most notable chase sequence shots were those of Matt Damon and Franka Potente while inside the car. 14. The consulate scenes were filmed in 2001 with real U.S. Marine security guards playing the roles of consulate guards. 26. Reception. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 84% of 193 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 7.0/10. The website's consensus reads, "Expertly blending genre formula with bursts of unexpected wit, the Bourne Identity is an action thriller that delivers, and then some." 27. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 68 out of 100, based on 38 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 28 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale. 29. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3 out of 4 stars and praised it for its ability to absorb the viewer in its spacecraft and Damon's ability to be focused and sincere, concluding that the film was unnecessary, but not unskilled. 30. A review by Film Freak Central, of the 2003 DVD release, praised the film for its pacing and action sequences, noting its subversion of the conventions of the thriller genre. 31 Charles Taylor of Salon.com acclaimed the film as entertaining, handsome, and gripping, an anomaly among big-budget summer blockbusters, a thriller with some brains and feeling behind it, more attuned to story and character than to spectacle, without sliding into cynicism or hopelessness. 32. Ed Gonzalez of Slant magazine also noted Doug Liman's restrained approach to the material as well as Matt Damon and Franka Potente's strong chemistry, but ultimately concluded the film was smart, but not smart enough. 33 Jay Hoberman of The Village Voice dismissed the film as banal and as a disappointment compared against Liman's previous indie releases. 34 Owen Gleiberman also criticized the film for a sullen roteness that all of Liman's supple handheld staging can't disguise. 35 Aaron Byerle of DVD Talk gave particular praise to the film's central car chase, which was described as an exciting action highlight and one of the best realized in the genre. 36-37. The Bourne Identity has been described by some authors as a neo-noir film. 38. In 2025, it was one of the films voted for the Reader's Choice edition of the New York Times list of the 100 best movies of the 21st century, finishing at number 237. 39. Box office. The Bourne Identity grossed $121.5 million domestically, United States and Canada, and $92.9 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $214.4 million, against a budget of $60 million. 7-8 Going into general release on June 14, 2002, it opened at number 2 behind Scooby-Doo. 40 It spent its first 5 weeks in the top 10 at the domestic box office. 41. Accolades. Year Organization Award Category / Recipient Result. 2003 ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards. ASCAP Award Top Box Office Films, John Powell won. Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films, USA Saturn Award Best Action / Adventure / Thriller Film nominated. American Choreography Awards. American Choreography Award Outstanding Achievement in Fight Choreography, Nick Powell won. Art Directors Guild Excellence in Production Design Award Feature Film, Contemporary Films nominated. Motion Picture Sound Editors, USA Golden Reel Award Best Sound Editing in Domestic Features, Dialogue and ADR, Sound Effects and Foley nominated. World Stunt Awards Taurus Award Best Work with a Vehicle won. Home Media. On January 21, 2003, Universal Pictures released The Bourne Identity in the US on VHS as well as on a collector's edition DVD in 2 formats, widescreen and full screen. It surpassed Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to have the highest DVD rentals, making $22.7 million. 42 The film would hold this record for 7 months until it was taken by The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers in August of the same year. 43 This DVD release contains supplemental materials including a making-of documentary, a commentary from director Doug Liman and deleted scenes. On July 13, 2004, Universal released a new extended edition DVD of the film in the US in preparation for the sequel's cinema debut. 44 This DVD came in the same 2 formats as the 2003 edition. The supplemental materials for this version include interviews with Matt Damon, deleted scenes, alternative opening and ending, a documentary on the consulate fight and information features on the CIA and amnesia. The alternate ending on the DVD has Bourne collapsing during the search for Marie, waking up with Abbott standing over him, and getting an offer to return to the CIA. Neither contain the commentary or DT's tracks present in the 2003 edition. The film was also released on UMD for Sony's PlayStation Portable on August 30, 2005, and on HD DVD on July 24, 2007. With the release of The Bourne Ultimatum on DVD, a reprint of the 2004 version was included in a box set with Supremacy and Ultimatum, entitled The Jason Bourne Collection. A trilogy set was released on Blu-ray in January 2009. 45. It was the top DVD video rental in the United States during the first quarter of 2003,
earning $36,400,000, equivalent to $64 million in 2025, in US DVD rental revenue by March 2003. 46. Soundtrack. Main article, The Bourne Identity, Soundtrack. The score for The Bourne Identity was composed by John Powell, conducted by Pete Anthony and performed by the Hollywood Studio Symphony. Powell was brought in to replace Carter Burwell, who had composed and recorded a more traditional orchestral score for the film, which director Doug Liman rejected. Since a lot of the music budget had been spent recording the rejected score, Powell's score was initially conceived to be entirely non-orchestral, making extensive use of percussion, guitars, electronics, and studio techniques. However, a string section was later overdubbed onto many of the cues to give them a cinematic quality. 47. The Bourne Identity, original motion picture soundtrack was released on June 11, 2002, by Varese Sarabande. In addition to the score, the film also featured the songs Extreme Ways by Moby and Ready Steady Go by Paul Oakenfold. The soundtrack won an ASCAP award. 48. Sequels. See also, Bourne, franchise. The Bourne Identity was followed by a 2004 sequel, The Bourne Supremacy, which received a similar positive critical and public reception. 49 but received some criticism for its handheld camera work, which observers argued made action sequences difficult to see. 50 The Bourne Supremacy was directed by Paul Greengrass with Matt Damon reprising his role as Jason Bourne. A third film, The Bourne Ultimatum, was released in 2007 and again was directed by Paul Greengrass and starred Matt Damon. Like Supremacy, Ultimatum received generally positive critical and public reception, but also received similar criticism for the camera work. 51 Liman remained as executive producer for both films as well as for the fifth film Jason Bourne, once again directed by Greengrass and released in 2016. The fourth film of the Bourne franchise, The Bourne Legacy, was released in 2012. Neither Damon nor Greengrass was involved. 52-53. Damon and Paul Greengrass returned in 2016 for the fifth installment of the series Jason Bourne, directed by Greengrass and written by Greengrass and Christopher Rouse. It is the final film in the Bourne film series and a direct sequel to The Bourne Ultimatum, 2007. Matthew Page Damon, /Dem/Damon, born October 8, 1970, is an American actor, film producer, and screenwriter. He was ranked among Forbes's most bankable stars in 2007, and in 2010 was one of the highest-grossing actors of all time. He has received various awards and nominations, including an Academy Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. 2 in addition to nominations for 3 British Academy Film Awards and 7 Primetime Emmy Awards. Damon made his acting debut in the film Mystic Pizza, 1988, before gaining prominence in 1997 when he and Ben Affleck wrote and starred in Good Will Hunting, which won them the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay and the Golden Globe Award for Best Screenplay. He established himself as a leading man by starring as Tom Ripley in The Talented Mr. Ripley, 1999, Jason Bourne in the Bourne franchise, 2002 to 2007, 2016, and Linus Caldwell in the Ocean's Trilogy, 2001 to 2007. He received a nomination for an Academy Award and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor for playing an astronaut stranded on Mars in The Martian, 2015. He also acted in The Rainmaker, 1997, Saving Private Ryan, 1998, Syriana, 2005, The Departed, 2006, The Informant, 2009, Invictus, 2009, True Grit, 2010, Contagion, 2011, Interstellar, 2014, Ford v Ferrari, 2019, The Last Duel, 2021, Air, 2023, and Oppenheimer, 2023, the last of which is his highest-grossing feature. On television, Damon portrayed Scott Thorson in the HBO biopic Behind the Candelabra, 2013, for which he was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. He was Emmy nominated for his guest role in 30 Rock in 2011 and hosting Saturday Night Live in 2019. He also produced the reality series Project Greenlight, 2001 to 2015, as well as the film Manchester by the Sea, 2016. Damon has performed voice-over work in both animated and documentary films and established 2 production companies with Affleck, Artists Equity, and the former Pearl Street Films. He has been involved in charitable work with organizations including the One Campaign, H2O Africa Foundation, Feeding America, and Water.org. Early life and education. Matthew Page Damon was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, on October 8, 1973, for the second son of Kent Telfer Damon, a stockbroker, and Nancy Carlson Page, an early childhood education professor at Lesley University. 5'6" his father had English and Scottish ancestry, while his mother is of Finnish and Swedish descent. Her family surname had been changed from Pajari to Page. 8, 9, 10 Damon and his family moved to Newton for 2 years. His parents divorced when he was 2 years old, and he and his brother returned with their mother to Cambridge 611, where they lived in a 6-family communal house. 12, 13 His brother, Kyle, is a sculptor and artist. 6, 14 Damon has said that, as a teenager, he felt lonely, as if he did not belong. 12 and that his mother's by-the-book approach to child rearing 12 had made it hard for him to define his own identity. 12. Damon attended Cambridge Alternative School and Cambridge Rindge and Latin School, and was a good student. 15 He acted in several high school theater productions. 6 and has credited his drama teacher, Gary Specka, with having an important artistic influence on him, while noting wryly that Specka gave Ben Affleck, Damon's close friend and schoolmate, the biggest roles and longest speeches. 15, 16 NB1 He attended Harvard University as a member of the class of 1992, residing in Lowell House, but left before receiving his degree to take a lead role in the film Geronimo, An American Legend. While at Harvard, as an exercise for an English class, Damon wrote an essay in the form of a film treatment that was later developed into the screenplay Good Will Hunting, for which he received an Academy Award. 18 At Harvard, Damon was a member of the Delphic Club, one of the university's final clubs. In 2013, he was awarded the Harvard Arts Medal. 19. Career. See also, Matt Damon filmography. 1988 to 1999, early work and breakthrough. Damon entered Harvard University in 1988, 20 NB2, where he appeared in student theater plays, such as Burn This and My Name is Alice. 22-23 later, he made his film debut at the age of 18, with a single line of dialogue in the romantic comedy Mystic Pizza. 24 As a student at Harvard, he acted in small roles such as in the TNT original film Rising Sun and the ensemble prep school drama School Ties. 25 He left the school in 1992, a semester, 12 credits, shy of completing his Bachelor of Arts in English to feature in Geronimo, An American Legend. 22-26 In Los Angeles, erroneously expecting the movie to be a big success. 22 NB3 Damon next appeared as an opiate-addicted soldier in 1990's IXS Courage Under Fire, for which he lost 40 pounds, 18 kilograms, in 100 days. 24-28 On a self-prescribed diet and fitness regimen. Courage Under Fire gained him critical notice. The Washington Post called his performance impressive. 29. Damon during filming for The Talented Mr. Ripley in 1999. During the early 1990s, Damon and Affleck wrote Good Will Hunting, 1997, a screenplay about a young mathematics genius, an extension of a screenplay Damon wrote as an assignment at Harvard, having integrated advice from director Rob Reiner, screenwriter William Goldman, and writer/director Kevin Smith. 30 He asked Affleck to perform the scenes with him in front of the class, and, when Damon later moved into Affleck's Los Angeles apartment,
they began working on the script more seriously. 31 The film, which they wrote mainly during improvisation sessions, was set partly in their hometown of Cambridge, and drew from their own experiences. 32-33 They sold the screenplay to Castle Rock in 1994, but after a conflict with the company, they convinced Miramax to purchase the script. 34-35 The film received critical praise. Quentin Curtis of the Daily Telegraph found real wit and vigor, and some depth in their writing, and Emmanuel Levy of Variety wrote that Damon gives a charismatic performance in a demanding role that's bound to catapult him to stardom. Perfectly cast, he makes the aching, step-by-step transformation of Will realistic and credible. 36-37. It received 9 Academy Awards nominations, including Best Actor for Damon. He and Affleck won the Oscar and Golden Globe Award for Best Screenplay. 38 He and Affleck were each paid salaries of $600,000, while the film grossed over $225 million at the worldwide box office. 39-40 The two later parodied their roles from the film in Kevin Smith's 2001 movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. 41. Of his overnight success through Good Will Hunting, Damon said that by that time he had been working in the cinema for 11 years but still found the change nearly indescribable, going from total obscurity to walking down a street in New York and having everybody turn and look. 42 Before the film, Damon played the lead in the critically acclaimed drama The Rainmaker, 1997, where he was recognized by the Los Angeles Times as a talented young actor on the brink of stardom. 43. For the role, Damon regained most of the weight he had lost for Courage Under Fire. 44 After meeting Damon on the set of Good Will Hunting, director Steven Spielberg cast him in the brief title role in the 1998 World War II film Saving Private Ryan. 45 He co-starred with Edward Norton in the 1998 poker film Rounders, playing a reformed gambler in law school who must return to playing high-stakes poker to help a friend pay off loan sharks. Despite meager earnings at the box office, it is considered one of the best poker movies of all time. 46. Damon then portrayed anti-hero Tom Ripley in The Talented Mr. Ripley, 1999, a role for which he lost 11 kilograms, 25 pounds. Damon said he wanted to display his character's humanity and honesty on screen despite his criminal actions. 47 An adaptation of Patricia Highsmith's 1955 novel of same name, the film co-starred Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Cate Blanchett, and received praise from critics. 48 Damon outstandingly conveys his character's slide from innocent enthusiasm into cold calculation, according to Variety magazine. 49 In Dogma, 1999, Damon plays a fallen angel who discusses pop culture as intellectual subject matter with Affleck's character. 50 The film received generally positive reviews, but proved controversial among religious groups who deemed it blasphemous. 51. 2000 to 2008, worldwide recognition. In 2000, Damon, Affleck, and producers Chris Moore and Sean Bailey founded the production company Live Planet to create the Emmy-nominated documentary series Project Greenlight, which aimed to find and fund worthwhile film projects by novice filmmakers. 52-53 Among the company's projects was the short-lived mystery hybrid series Push, Nevada. 54. Damon in 2001. Damon's attempts at leading characters in romantic dramas such as 2000's All the Pretty Horses and The Legend of Bagger Vance were commercially and critically unsuccessful. 39 Variety said of his work in All the Pretty Horses, he just doesn't quite seem like a young man who's spent his life amidst the dust and dung of a Texas cattle ranch. Nor does he strike any sparks with Penelope Cruz. 55. He was similarly deemed uncomfortable being the center of Robert Redford's The Legend of Bagger Vance by Peter Rainer of New York Magazine. 56. During this period, Damon joined two lucrative film series Ocean's Trilogy, 2001 to 2007, and Bourne, 2002 to 2016, and produced the television series Project Greenlight, 2001 to 2005, 2015. He co-starred as thief Linus Caldwell in the former's first installment, Steven Soderbergh's 2001 ensemble film Ocean's 11, a remake of the Rat Pack's Ocean's 11, 1960. 24 The role was originally meant for Mark Wahlberg, who declined it in favor of other projects. 57 The film grossed $450 million on a budget of $83 million. 58 Damon, alongside Affleck and others, produced the documentary series Project Greenlight, aired on HBO and later Bravo, which helped newcomers develop their first film. The series was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Reality Program in 2002, 2004, and 2005. 59 Damon later said that he and Affleck felt proud that the show helped launch the careers of several directors. Damon later served as the executive producer of a number of projects directed by the winners of the show. 60. In 2002, Damon began writing and starring in Gary, a drama about two friends who forget to bring water and food when they go hiking in a desert. The film's reviews were generally favorable, but it was a box office failure. 61-62 He then played amnesiac assassin Jason Bourne in Doug Liman's action thriller The Bourne Identity, 2002. Liman considered several actors for the role before he cast Damon. 63 Damon insisted on performing many of the stunts himself, undergoing 3 months of extensive training in stunt work, the use of weapons, boxing, and eskrima. 64 He said that before The Bourne Identity he was jobless for 6 months, and many of his films during that period underperformed at the box office. He doubted the film's financial prospects, but it proved a commercial success. 62 The film's reviews were also good. 65 Roger Ebert praised it for its ability to absorb the viewer in its spacecraft and Damon's ability to be focused and sincere. 66 For his role, Entertainment Weekly named Damon among the decade's best mixer of brawn and brains. 67. Damon attending an event for the Bourne Ultimatum in 2007. Damon voiced the role of Spirit in the animated film Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, 2002, and later played a conjoined twin in Stuck on You, 2003, which received a mixed critical reception. 68 His major releases in 2004 included starring roles in the sequels The Bourne Supremacy and Ocean's 12. Both films earned more than $280 million at the box office. 69-70 BBC's Neve Pierce called The Bourne Supremacy a brisk, engrossing and intelligent thriller, adding, "Damon is one hell of an action hero. He does a lot with very little, imbuing his limited dialogue with both rage and sorrow, looking harder and more haunted as the picture progresses." 71 For the film, he earned an Empire Award for Best Actor. Empire attributed Damon's win to his astute, underplayed performance, through which he totally eschews movie star vanity. 72 He played a fictionalized version of Wilhelm Grimm alongside Heath Ledger in Terry Gilliam's fantasy adventure The Brothers Grimm, 2005, a critically panned commercial failure. 39 The Washington Post wrote, "Damon, constantly flashing his newscaster's teeth and flaunting a fake, masterpiece theater dialect, comes across like someone who got lost on the way to an audition for a high school production of The Pirates of Penzance." 73. Later in 2005, he appeared as an energy analyst in the geopolitical thriller Cyrano alongside George Clooney and Jeffrey Wright. 74 The film focuses on petroleum politics and the global influence of the oil industry. Damon says starring in the film broadened his understanding of the oil industry and that he hoped people would talk about the film. 75 Peter Travers of Rolling Stone was mainly impressed with Clooney's acting, but also found Damon's performance whiplash. 76 In 2006, Damon joined Robert De Niro in The Good Shepherd as a career CIA agent, and played an undercover mobster working for the Massachusetts State Police in Martin Scorsese's The Departed, a remake of the Hong Kong police thriller Infernal Affairs. 24 Assessing his work in the two films, Manala Dargis of the New York Times wrote that Damon has the unique ability to recede into a film while also being fully present, a recessed intensity that distinguishes how he holds the screen. 77. The Departed received critical acclaim and won the Academy Award for Best Picture. 78 NB4. According to Forbes in August 2007, Damon was the most bankable star of the actors reviewed. His last 3 films at that time averaged $29 at the box office for every dollar he earned. 79. Two of his major releases in 2007 were the films Ocean's 13 and The Bourne Ultimatum, the third installments of their respective series. Both films earned more than $300 million at the box office. 80-81. Damon had an uncredited cameo in Francis Ford Coppola's Youth Without Youth, 2007, and another in the 2008 Che Guevara biopic Che. 82-83. While working on the Bourne films, Damon declined an offer from James Cameron to star in his upcoming film Avatar, as he did not want to break his Bourne contract. Cameron offered Damon 10% of the profits for the film, which went on to become the most successful of all time. Damon said later, "I will go down in history, you will never meet an actor who turned down more money." 84. 2009 to 2019, established actor. Damon attending an event for The Informant. At the 2009 Venice International Film Festival. He made a guest appearance in 2009 on the 6th season finale of Entourage as himself, where he tries to pressure Vincent Chase, Adrian Grenier, into donating to his Real Foundation 1Xone. 85-86. His next role was Steven Soderbergh's dark comedy The Informant. 2009, 87 of his Golden Globe-nominated work, in which Entertainment Weekly wrote, "The star who has quietly and steadily turned into a great everyman actor is in nimble control as he reveals his character's deep crazies." 88. Also in 2009, Damon portrayed South Africa national rugby union team captain Francois Pienaar in the Clint Eastwood-directed film Invictus, based on the 2008 John Carlin book Playing the Enemy, Nelson Mandela and the Game That Changed a Nation, and featuring Morgan Freeman as Nelson Mandela. 89. Invictus earned Damon an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. The New Republic observed that he brought it off with low-key charm and integrity. 90. Damon also lent his voice to the English version of the animated film Ponyo, released in the United States in August 2009. 91. In March 2010, Damon and Affleck collaborated again to create another production company, Pearl Street Films, a Warner Brothers-based production company. 92-93. That year, he reunited with director Paul Greengrass, who directed him in The Bourne Supremacy and Bourne Ultimatum, for the action thriller Green Zone, which flopped commercially. 94. And received a score of 53% on Rotten Tomatoes and ambivalent critical reception. 95. He appeared as a guest star in an episode of Arthur, titled The Making of Arthur, as himself. 14. During season 5 of 30 Rock, he appeared as a guest star in the role of Liz Lemon's boyfriend in the episodes I Do, The Fabian Strategy, Live Show, and Double-Edged Sword. Damon's 2010 projects included Clint Eastwood's Hereafter and the Coen Brothers remake of the 1969 John Wayne starring Western True Grit. 96. He also narrated Inside Job, a documentary film about the effects of financial deregulation in the 2008 financial crisis. 97. In 2010, he was one of the highest-grossing actors of all time, ranking 37th. 98. In 2011, he starred in The Adjustment Bureau, Contagion, and We Bought a Zoo. That same year, the documentary he narrated, American Teacher, opened in New York before national screening. 99. Also in 2011, he voiced a krill named Bill in the animated film Happy Feet 2. 100. In 2012, Damon signed a multi-year deal to be the voice of TD Ameritrade advertisements, replacing Sam Waterston as the discount brokerage's spokesman. He donated all fees from the ads to charity. 101. In 2012, Damon filmed Promised Land, directed by Gus Van Sant, which Damon co-wrote with John Krasinski. 102, 103, 104. Damon's next film with Soderbergh was Behind the Candelabra, a drama about the life of pianist/entertainer Liberace, played by Michael Douglas, with Damon playing Liberace's longtime partner Scott Thorson. The film premiered on HBO on May 26, 2013. 105. Damon at the French premiere of The Monuments Men in 2014. Damon starred in the science fiction film Elysium, 2013, playing car thief turned factory worker Max DaCosta. 106. He also appeared in the science fiction movie The Zero Theorem in 2013, directed by Terry Gilliam. 107. That same year, Damon appeared in a 20-second advertisement for Nespresso, directed by Grant Heslov, with whom he worked on The Monuments Men. The deal earned him $3 million. 108. Damon also provided voiceover for United Airlines' resurrected Fly the Friendly Skies ad campaign in 2013. 109. In 2014, he starred in George Clooney's The Monuments Men 110 and played the minor role of scientist Dr. Mann in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. That same year, Damon appeared as a celebrity correspondent for Years of Living Dangerously. 111. In 2015, Damon had the lead role, astronaut Mark Watney, in Ridley Scott's The Martian, based on Andy Weir's best-selling novel of the same name, a role that earned him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy and his second Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Having not returned for the fourth film in the Bourne film series 112-113, Damon reprised his role in 2016's Jason Bourne, reuniting with Paul Greengrass. In 2017, Damon played the lead role in John Yumu's The Great Wall, a hit internationally and a disappointment at the domestic box office. The film, and Damon's casting, were not well received by critics. 114, 115, 116. Later in 2017, he starred in two satires, George Clooney's 1950 essay Suburbicon, released in October 117, and Alexander Payne's comedy Downsizing, released in December 118. In September 2018, he portrayed jurist Brett Kavanaugh on the late-night sketch series Saturday Night Live. 119. In 2019, Damon portrayed Carroll Shelby in the action biographical drama Ford v Ferrari, directed by James Mangold. 120. 2021, present, continued positive critical reception. As of 2021, the films in which he had appeared had collectively earned over $3.88 billion at the North American box office. 121. In 2021, Damon starred in Tom McCarthy's crime drama Stillwater, playing an unemployed oil rig worker from Oklahoma who sets out with a French woman to prove his convicted daughter's innocence. The film premiered at the 2021 Cannes Film Festival. IndieWire called Damon's performance graced with a quiet softness that offsets the sheer volume of the character he's playing. 122. That same year saw the release of the historical drama The Last Duel, which he starred in and co-wrote alongside Ben Affleck. The film, set in medieval France and based on the book of the same name, focuses on the true story of a knight, Jean de Carouagues, portrayed by Damon, who challenges his former friend to a judicial duel after he's accused of raping his wife. It premiered at the 78th Venice International Film Festival and was favorably reviewed but a financial failure. 123. In 2023, Damon starred as Nike executive Sonny Vaccaro in Air, a drama film about the launch of Air Jordan, co-starring and directed by Affleck. 124. It marked the first release from Affleck and Damon's independent production company, Artists Equity, which they formed in 2022. 125. Damon received praise for the role, earning a nomination for a Golden Globe Award. He also reunited with Christopher Nolan in the biographical film Oppenheimer. 126. Playing Leslie Groves, the director of the Manhattan Project. 127. 128. The film was a critical and commercial success, becoming Damon's highest-grossing movie. 129.
In 2024, Damon starred in and produced The Instigators, alongside Casey Affleck, for Apple TV+. 130. Damon will work with Nolan once again on The Odyssey, portraying Odysseus. 131, 132, 133 of working on the film, Damon went on to declare it to be the pinnacle of my entire career. I loved every minute of it. It was such an ambitious project that the amount of work that needed to be done, there was no time for anything else. I've never ever done a movie that just required every single person to work, to kind of give maximum effort. Every location on that movie would have been the hardest location on any other movie I've ever done, and any day of work would have harder on any other day, on any other movie I've ever done. 134. Activism. Damon with the United Nations Stabilization Mission in Haiti in 2008. With George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Don Cheadle, David Pressman, and Jerry Weintraub, Damon is one of the founders of Not On Our Watch Project, an organization that focuses global attention and resources to stop and prevent mass atrocities such as in Darfur. 135. Damon supports One campaign, which is aimed at fighting AIDS and poverty in third world countries. He has appeared in its print and television advertising. He is an ambassador for One Exone, a non-profit foundation committed to supporting, preserving, and improving the lives of children at home in Canada, the United States, and around the world. 136. Damon is a spokesperson for Feeding America, a hunger relief organization, and a member of its Entertainment Council, participating in its Ad Council public service announcements. 137. He was a board member of Tonic Mail Stopper, formerly Green Dimes. This company attempted to halt the delivery of junk mail to American homes. 138. NB5. Damon founded the H2O Africa Foundation, the charitable arm of the Running the Sahara Expedition 140, which merged with Water Partners to create Water.org in 2009. 141. Water.org has partnered with corporate sponsors to promote awareness and raise funds to support its mission of bringing safe, clean, cost-effective drinking water and sanitation to developing countries. 142. In this context, Damon has been the face of advertising campaigns to promote Water.org in conjunction with products from major sponsors. In 2011, Water.org received an $8 million grant from the PepsiCo Foundation to scale up water credit, which provides microloans to families in India. 143. Damon has promoted those efforts, tying in with Aquafina and Ethos Water bottled water, owned by PepsiCo and Starbucks. 144. 145. Since 2015, Damon has promoted Anheuser-Busch InBev Stella Artois beer as a Water.org partner, including the sale of limited edition blue chalice glasses imprinted with an embellished blue version of the brand's logo. 146. 147. In a commercial made for broadcast during the 2018 Super Bowl of the United States National Football League, NFL, he promoted Water.org and Stella Artois' role in supporting its work. 148. On July 30, 2025, Damon competed alongside game show host Ken Jennings in an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, winning $1 million for Water.org, thus becoming not only the third celebrities to win the top prize, but the 16th overall contestants to do so. 149. In October 2021, he announced a new partnership with the cryptocurrency trading platform Crypto.com, under which Crypto.com was to make a $1 million donation to Water.org. In the announcement, Damon said, "Crypto.com gave us this great donation, which is amazing. The money that I make for the commercials to promote them, I give 100% of that to Water.org as well. So, it's millions of dollars coming into us." 150. 151. Damon's Crypto.com commercial 152 started rolling out in cinemas late in 2021, and then on television in January 2022, mainly during sports programming such as NFL games. Once it was broadcast widely on television, it sparked much criticism, as did its accompanying making of featurette. 153 in The Independent, Nathan Place wrote, Twitter is cringing after a TV commercial starring Matt Damon compared trading cryptocurrency to mankind's greatest achievements. In the ad, which aired during Sunday night's NFL games, Mr. Damon makes an abstract plug for Crypto.com, a platform for exchanging digital currencies like Bitcoin, while striding past images of explorers and astronauts. 154. In the New Zealand Herald, Lexi Cartwright summed up viewer reaction, Matt Damon's new commercial plugging cryptocurrency has been absolutely savaged on social media, with viewers dubbing it insulting and disgusting. Cartwright included a series of tweets, among them one by Carol Cadwaladra of The Observer that read, There isn't enough yuck in the world to describe Matt Damon advertising a Ponzi scheme and comparing it to the moon landings. 155. Jody Rosen of the New York Times wrote, There is something unseemly, to put it mildly, about the famous and fabulously wealthy urging crypto on their fans, and the bleakness of that pitch is startling. 156. Public image. Comedian Jimmy Kimmel had a running gag on his ABC television show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, where he apologized for not being able to interview Damon at the end of each show. It culminated in a planned skit on September 12, 2006, when Damon stormed off after having his interview cut short. 157. Damon appeared in several of E! Entertainment's top 10 Jimmy Kimmel Live spoofs. 158. NB6 On January 24, 2013, Damon took over his show and mentioned the long-standing feud and having been bumped from years of shows. It involved celebrities who were previously involved in the feud, including Robin Williams, Ben Affleck, and Sarah Silverman. 161. Personal life. Damon with his wife Luciana Bozen at the 2009 Venice International Film Festival. Damon met his wife, Luciana Bozen, while filming Stuck on You in Miami in April 2003. 162. 163. They became engaged in September 2005 and married in a private civil ceremony at the Manhattan Marriage Bureau on December 9, 2005. They have 3 daughters together, born in 2006, 164, 2008, 165 and 2010. 166. He also has a stepdaughter from Bozen's previous marriage, and considers her his own. 167, 168, 169. The couple have lived in Miami and New York City. 170. Since 2012, they have lived in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood in Los Angeles. 171. In 2018, Damon bought a luxury penthouse in New York City's Brooklyn Heights neighborhood for $16.5 million. 172. He is a fan of the Boston Red Sox. 173. After the team won the 2007 World Series, he narrated the commemorative DVD release of the event. 174. He has competed in several World Series of Poker, WSOP, events. 175, 176, including the 2010 World Series of Poker main event. 177. He was eliminated from the 1998 WSOP by poker professional Doyle Brunson. 178. Political and social views. While discussing the Iraq War on Hardball with Chris Matthews in December 2006, Damon expressed concern about inequities across socioeconomic classes with regard to who is tasked with the responsibility of fighting wars. 179. In an interview with the Sunday Herald in January 2003, Damon expressed his support for gun control with "I actually hate guns. They freak me out." 180. Damon is a supporter of the Democratic Party and has made several critical attacks on Republican Party figures. He also expressed disappointment over the policies of President Barack Obama. 181. 182. He had a working relationship with the Obama administration, primarily due to his friendship with Jason Furman, his former Harvard roommate who became chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors to Obama. 183 In 2012, Damon joined Affleck and John Krasinski in hosting a fundraiser for Democratic Senate nominee Elizabeth Warren. 184 Damon endorsed Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election. 185 186 In October and December 2017, Damon made headlines when he made a series of comments about the Me Too movement against sexual harassment and misconduct. On October 10, Sharon Waxman, a former reporter for the New York Times, mentioned that Damon and Russell Crowe had made direct phone calls to her to vouch for the head of Miramax Italy, Fabrizio Lombardo. In her report, she suspected Lombardo of facilitating incidents of Harvey Weinstein's sexual misconduct in Europe. 187 188 189 Damon later clarified that the calls were solely to reassure her of Lombardo's professional qualifications in the film industry. 190 Waxman endorsed Damon's statement on Twitter hours later. 191 Also during this time, Damon said he had heard a story from Affleck that Gwyneth Paltrow, a co-worker on a feature film of his, had been harassed by Weinstein in 1996, but thought she had handled it because they continued to work together, and Weinstein treated her incredibly respectfully. 192 193 In another series of interviews in December 2017, Damon advocated a spectrum of behavior analysis. 194 195 196 197 of sexual misconduct cases, noting that some are more serious than others. 198 196 197 The comment offended prominent members of the Me Too movement. 198 199 And the public for being tone-deaf in understanding what abuse is like. 199 198 On January 17, 2018, Damon apologized on the Today Show for his social commentary, saying he should get in the back seat and close my mouth for a while. 200 In March 2018, Damon and Affleck announced they would adopt the inclusion rider agreement in all future production deals with Pearl Street Films. 201 In August 2021, Damon sparked controversy after saying in an interview with the Sunday Times that he had only months ago stopped using the word fag, saying that it was commonly used when I was a kid, with a different application. 202 This came after an incident in which his daughter left the table due to his usage of the word and wrote a very long, beautiful treatise on how that word is dangerous. 203 He denied ever using the word faggot in his personal life, and of the word fag, I explained that that word was used constantly and casually and was even a line of dialogue in a movie of mine as recently as 2003. To my admiration and pride, she was extremely articulate about the extent to which that word would have been painful to someone in the LGBTQ+ community regardless of how culturally normalized it was. I not only agreed with her but thrilled at her passion, values, and desire for social justice. 204 Awards and Honors. Main article, List of awards and nominations received by Matt Damon. Aside from awards he has garnered for his role as an actor and producer, Damon became the 2,343rd person to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on July 25, 2007. 205 He reacted to the award by stating, "A few times in my life, I've had these experiences that are just kind of too big to process and this looks like it's going to be one of those times." Franka Potente, German, Franka Potente, born July 22, 1974, is a German actress. She first appeared in the comedy film After Five in the Forest Primeval, 1995, for which she won a Bavarian Film Award for Best Young Actress. Her breakthrough came in 1998, when she starred in the acclaimed action thriller Run Lola Run, for which she won a Bambi Award for Best Actress. She received further critical acclaim and a Bavarian Television Award nomination for her performance in the television film Opernball, also 1998.
After half a decade of well-received roles in German productions, Potente made the transition into Hollywood with her role in the biographical crime film Blow, 2001, and achieved wider recognition for her appearances in The Bourne Identity, 2002, and The Bourne Supremacy, 2004. She portrayed communist revolutionary Tamara Bunk in Che, 2008, and psychologist Anita Gregory in The Conjuring 2, 2016. Her other notable films include Anatomy, 2000, The Princess and the Warrior, 2000, Creep, 2004, Romulus, My Father, 2007, Eichmann, 2007, and Muse, 2017. Potente has starred in the television series Copper, 2012 to 2013, Taboo, 2017, Claws, Titans and Echo 3. She played recurring roles in the second seasons of American Horror Story, 2012, and The Bridge, 2014. She is currently starring in Season 4 of Dark Winds, an AMC adaptation of the novels of Tony Hillerman produced by Robert Redford and George R.R. Martin. Early life. The elder of two children, Potente was born in Munster, West Germany and raised in nearby Dülmen. To her mother, Hildegard, is a medical assistant, and her father, Dieter Potente, is a teacher. Her Italian surname stems from her great-grandfather, a slater from Sicily who migrated to Germany during the 19th century. When she was 17 years old, Potente spent a few months as an exchange student in Humble, a suburb of Houston, Texas. 3. Career. 1990s. After finishing high school in Germany, Potente enrolled at the Otto Falkenberg School of Performing Arts in Munich. Potente took acting jobs outside school time and appeared in her first movie in the 1995 student film Aufbruch, Departure. She was then spotted by a casting agent and appeared in the film Noch 5 im Urwald, After 5 in the Forest Primeval, directed by her then boyfriend, Hans Christian Schmidt. She played the role of a 17-year-old girl named Anna who, in search of freedom in an urban environment, runs away from home with a boy who has a crush on her. The film premiered at the 1995 Hof International Film Festival and opened in German theaters on April 25, 1996. For 5 she received the 1996 Bavarian Film Award for Young Talent for her work in this film. She subsequently finished her last year of training at the Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute in Manhattan. 6-7. Potente returned to Europe and worked in German and French films. Her breakthrough came with 1998's Lola Rant, Run Lola Run, after meeting the director, Tom Tykwer, in a cafe. Specifically written for her persona, her role was that of a woman who needs to obtain 100,000 Deutsche Mark in 20 minutes to save her boyfriend's life. Budgeted at $1 million, the Arthus thriller was a critical and commercial success, grossing $14.5 million worldwide. 8 Variety wrote that her performance was heroic, fierce, frightened and vulnerable all at once. 9 While eFilmCritic.com called her casting a smart choice. 10 Following her newfound success, she starred opposite Timur Roma in Downhill City, 1999, a small-scale drama directed by Finnish director Hannu Salonen 11 and in the romantic comedy Benich Sean, about people having trouble with love and identity, which was released on September 17, 1999 in Germany. 12. 2000s. Potente, left, at the 2005 Frankfurt Book Fair. In the German-language horror film Anatomy, 2000, she starred as a medical student who wins a place at an exclusive Heidelberg medical school, where she uncovers a gruesome conspiracy by a secret anti-Hippocratic society. 13 The film was a box office success in Germany, grossing $10.5 million domestically. 14 And Variety, in its review for the film, remarked, boasting a gutsy performance from sturdy young German star Franka Potente, Run Lola Run, Anatomy is creepy, sometimes gruesome, widescreen fun that pushes all the right buttons. Outperforming Scream at the local box office and the biggest German pick of the year so far, This is natural late-night/fantasy fest fare that could become a cult item on half-inch and possibly even theatrically. 15. Also in 2000, she had the starring role in the romantic drama The Princess and the Warrior, directed by Taikwer, her Run Lola Run director. In the film, she portrayed a psychiatric hospital nurse who, after a near-death experience, enters into a relationship with an anguished former soldier, Benno Furman, also her co-star in Anatomy, who lapses into criminality. 16. The independent film was favorably received by critics. A film critic stated that Potent proves her versatility as an actress here with a much more subdued character, but is still capable of delivering powerhouse emotional scenes, while the consensus of review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes was more slow-moving than Run Lola Run. This film nonetheless offers an intriguing storyline about love and fate. 17. She received nominations for the European Film Award and the German Film Award for Best Actress. Potent's first English-language role was that of a flight attendant who becomes engaged to cocaine smuggler George Jung in the biographical crime film Blow, alongside Johnny Depp. The film received mixed reviews. 18. While it grossed $83.2 million worldwide. 19. She played a film editor in the controversial independent drama Storytelling, 2001, with Leo Fitzpatrick and Selma Blair. It premiered at the 2001 Cannes Film Festival 20 and received a limited release in most international markets. 21-22 Potent next found a much wider recognition from audiences for her performance in The Bourne Identity, 2002, co-starring Matt Damon. In the film, she played a European woman who grows closer to the title character, a man suffering from extreme memory loss and attempting to discover his true identity amidst a clandestine conspiracy within the Central Intelligence Agency. A positive critical reception greeted the film upon its release 23 and budgeted at $60 million. It grossed $214 million globally. 24 After her role in the film, she starred in the American films All I Want, 2002, and I Love Your Work, 2003, and in the German production Blueprint, 2003. She reprised past roles with the German horror sequel Anatomy 2, 2003, and The Bourne Supremacy, 2004, the latter which grossed $288.5 million worldwide. 25 In 2004, she starred in the British-German horror film Creep, as a woman locked in the London Underground overnight who finds herself being stalked by a hideously deformed killer living in the sewers below. Despite mixed reviews, the film grossed $3.2 million in UK cinemas. 26 View London wrote, "The performances are good, particularly Potent, who avoids scream queen cliches by making her character surprisingly unlikable. Kate is rude and arrogant in her early scenes and the fact that she's German is, of course, a coincidence." 27. In 2006, Potent appeared in the German coming-of-age drama Elementarteilchen, Atomist, based on the novel Les Particules Elementaires by Michel Houellebecq and directed by Oscar Roller. She wrote and directed Der Die Tolkersche Ausgrabt, a silent also released in 2006. She next starred with Eric Bana and Cody Smith-McPhee in the Australian drama film Romulus, My Father, 2007, about the struggle of a couple to raise their son amid great adversity. For her portrayal, she was nominated for an Australian Film Industry Award for Best Lead Actress. Starting in May 2007, Potent had a 3-episode recurring arc in the FX drama The Shield, where she played Dairo Kesakian, the ruthless godmother of L.A.'s Armenian Mafia. 28 Also in 2007, she appeared in Eichmann, 2007, a biographical film detailing the interrogation of Adolf Eichmann. In Che, 2008, a 2-part biopic about Argentine Marxist revolutionary Escobedo Che Guevara, Potent took on the role of communist revolutionary Tamara Bunk. She described the film as really epic and very emotional during an interview with Vulture magazine. 29 The film, first screened at the Cannes Film Festival, garnered a positive critical response while it made $40.9 million worldwide.
3031 The New Yorker, pointing out Potent, remarked that immature figures come and go, diverting the plot without registering much of an impact. 32 And The Hollywood Reporter described her part as a small role and felt that the actress seems utterly uncomfortable in every scene. 33 In 2009, she appeared in the House television series two-part episode Broken. 2010s. Potent filmed the American neo-noir film Shanghai in Bangkok, Thailand, with production wrapping in August 2008. 34 The film, set in the 1940s Chinese spy world, was released on June 9, 2010 in China. 35 And on October 2, 2015 in North America. 36 In 2011, she played the leading role of a passenger in the drama The Sinking of the Laconia, about the Laconia incident. 37 The two-part television film first aired in January 2011 on BBC Two. Potent starred in BBC America's first original scripted series, Copper, as Eva Hyson, a shrewd German-American businesswoman and the madam of a brothel in the Five Points district of New York City during the American Civil War. 38 The show premiered on August 9, 2012 and had the largest debut in the network's history. It was subsequently renewed for a second season. 39 But the BBC announced its cancellation following its finale. Potent subsequently had a two-episode appearance in American Horror Story, Asylum, as a woman who claims to be Holocaust victim and diarist Anne Frank. 41. In 2014, Potent landed a role on the second season of the FX series The Bridge as Eleanor Nacht, a fixer for the cartel. She returned to the big screen in the horror sequel The Conjuring 2 as real-life German-British parapsychologist Anita Gregory, who investigated the Enfield poltergeist case in the late 20th century. 42 The Hollywood Reporter found her to be curiously sidelined for much of the action. 43 But with a worldwide gross of $320.3 million, it emerged as Potent's most widely seen film. 45 Also in 2016, she obtained the two-episode role of a calculated and determined chief inspector in the second season of the Canadian supernatural series Dark Matter, and in 2017, she was cast in a supporting role in the BBC period drama series Taboo, alongside Tom Hardy. 46. 2020s. In 2020, she wrote and directed her first feature film Home. The film premiered in October 2020. 47. In 2022, Potent appeared in Season 4 of Titans where she portrayed Mother Mayhem. 48. Authored works. Based on Potent's correspondence with colleague Max Urlacher during his time in Los Angeles, a book entitled Los Angeles, Berlin was published in September 2005. In May 2009, Potent published her second book Kick-Ass, an alternative workout, co-written with her personal trainer Karsten Schellenberg. In August 2010, her first volume of stories Zen was published. 49. Personal life. After relationships with German film director Tom Tykwer and American actor Elijah Wood, Potent married American actor Derek Richardson in mid-2012, in a private ceremony. 50 The couple lives in Los Angeles, and has two daughters, born in 2011 and 2013. Christopher Walton Cooper I, born July 9, 1951, is an American actor. Having made his debut as a stage actor, he made his breakthrough on television as Sheriff July Johnson in the acclaimed Western television miniseries Lonesome Dove, 1989. He has appeared in several major Hollywood films including A Time to Kill, 1996, October Sky, 1999, American Beauty, 1999, The Bourne Identity, 2002, Seabiscuit, 2003, Capote, 2005, Syriana, 2005, The Kingdom, 2007, Where the Wild Things Are, 2009, The Town, 2010, The Muppets, 2011, Live by Night, 2016, Cars 3, 2017, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood,
2019, and Little Women, 2019. He won both the Academy Award and Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor for Adaptation. Cooper also played a lead role in the historical and political thriller Breach, 2007, playing FBI agent and traitor Robert Hansen. He played Daniel Sloan in the 2012 political thriller The Company You Keep, and Norman Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014. He also portrayed Al Templeton on the 2016 Hulu miniseries November 22, 63. He is a frequent collaborator with director John Sayles, including Maduon, 1987, City of Hope, 1991, Lone Star, 1996, Silver City, 2004, and Amigo, 2010. Cooper's other accolades include a Screen Actors Guild Award, and nominations for a BAFTA Award, a Primetime Emmy Award, an Independent Spirit Award, and 3 Satellite Awards. In 2017, he was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Play for his performance in A Doll's House, Part 2. Early life. Cooper was born on July 9, 1951, in Kansas City, Missouri, the son of Charles, 1923–1989, and Mary Ann Walton Cooper, 1925–2015. 1-2 He has an older brother, Chuck Cooper, born 1948. 3 His father was both a United States Air Force doctor and a cattleman, and his mother was a housewife. 4, 5, 6 Both of his parents were from Texas. 4 Cooper grew up in the suburbs of Kansas City, and spent his summers at his family's cattle ranch, located about 15 miles west of Leavenworth, Kansas. 4, 6 As his father was in the Air Force, he and his family moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, and Houston, Texas. 7 While attending Southwest High School in Kansas City, Cooper worked for a local theater company. I had a background in carpentry, so I could build sets and work in the wings and shift scenes in the evening. 8 After he graduated from high school, Cooper became the shop foreman for another repertory company. 8 He also considered helping his father raise cattle for a living. 6 Cooper served in the Coast Guard Reserve. 4, 9 Cooper attended the University of Missouri and enrolled in the theater program, originally majoring in set design. 4, 8 It was during his sophomore year when Cooper changed his major to acting to overcome his overpowering shyness. 4 Cooper took acting classes at the University of Missouri. 6 He recalled in a 1996 interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer, I started going in and watching some shows at the theater department. I started taking theater classes and auditioned for plays. And once I got into it, it was pretty immediate. I really felt right, felt at home. 8 Cooper also took dance classes at Stevens College. 5, 9 After he graduated from the University of Missouri, Cooper moved to New York City in 1976. 5, 10 While living in New York, Cooper shared a 1-bedroom railroad flat with 4 other aspiring actors and dancers. 4 He supported himself by renovating apartments. 4 In addition, he worked in construction and served as a janitor and a chauffeur. 5 At the same time, he studied with Stella Adler and Win Handman. 4, 5, 8 Prior to his film debut with Maduon, 1987, Cooper spent the previous 12 years doing stage work with the Actors Theatre of Louisville and the Seattle Repertory. 5, 6 In 1985, Cooper appeared in the London revival of Sweet Bird of Youth. 10 In 1989, he played Ty Cobb in Cobb at the Yale Repertory Theatre. 11 Career. Cooper's early performances include John Sayles' 1987 film Maduon, the 1989 CBS Western miniseries Lonesome Dove, the 1991 indie Western drama Thousand Pieces of Gold, and the 1992 ABC docudrama Bed of Lies, opposite Susan Day. Some of his more notable later performances include Money Train, as a psychotic pyromaniac who terrifies toll booth operators, Lone Star, in a leading role as a Texas sheriff charged with solving a decades-old case, as Deputy Dwayne Looney in director Joel Schumacher's 1996 film A Time to Kill, based on the John Grisham novel, as Frank Booker in 1998's The Horse Whisperer, and as a closeted homophobic Marine Corps colonel in American Beauty, a role that garnered him a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. To get into character, Cooper said he depended on a friend who'd fought in Vietnam. I asked him to go deep. What would this man have done? What would be on his walls? On his desk? 12. In 2000, Cooper played Colonel Harry Burwell, inspired by Lieutenant Colonel Henry Lighthorse Harry Lee, in The Patriot. He was nominated for another Screen Actors Guild Award, a BAFTA Award, and won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor and a Golden Globe Award in 2003 for playing the role of John LaRoche in Adaptation. In 2002, Cooper also appeared in The Bourne Identity as a ruthless CIA Special Ops Director, a role he reprised, in flashbacks, in The Bourne Supremacy. Cooper received another Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for his supporting role as racehorse trainer Tom Smith in 2003's Seabiscuit. In 2004, Cooper starred in Silver City, playing an inept Republican gubernatorial candidate, a character noted for similarities to U.S. President George W. Bush. Citation needed. Cooper appeared in 3 acclaimed films in 2005, Jarhead, which reunited him with American Beauty director Sam Mendes and October Sky actor Jake Gyllenhaal, Capote, and Syriana. He also acted in the thriller Breach, playing real-life FBI agent and traitor Robert Hansen. Cooper commented that Breach was the first studio film where they've considered me the lead actor. In 2007, he appeared as a government agent in Dangerous Territory in the action thriller The Kingdom and voiced the character Douglas in the film adaptation of Maurice Sendak's book, Where the Wild Things Are, 2009. At the 2010 Sundance Film Festival, Cooper appeared alongside Ben Affleck in The Company Men, early reviews of which praised Cooper's performance as pitch perfect. 13. In 2011, Chris Cooper appeared in The Muppets as Tex Richman, the antagonistic oil tycoon who is unable to laugh. In the musical film, Cooper performed the rap and dance number Let's Talk About Me. 14. In 2013, he played Charles Aiken, Sr. in August, Osage County alongside an all-star cast that included Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts. Cooper portrayed Norman Osborn in the 2014 film The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He appeared in an uncredited role in Ben Affleck's crime drama Live by Night, which was released in December 2016. In 2017, he and Laurie Metcalf starred in A Doll's House, Part 2, a Broadway play by Lucas Nath based on Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House, for which he received a Tony Award nomination. Cooper played Nora Helmer's husband, Torvald. 15. In 2019, Cooper starred in 2 acclaimed films, Marielle Heller's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, with Tom Hanks 16 and Greta Gerwig's adaptation of Little Women with an ensemble cast featuring Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, Timothy Chalamet, Laura Dern, and Meryl Streep. 17. In 2024, Cooper served as an executive producer of the documentary My Own Normal about Alexander Freeman, a filmmaker from Newton, Massachusetts who has cerebral palsy, following his journey of becoming a partner and father and confronting the pain of his parents' reaction. The documentary premiered at Independent Film Festival Boston. 1819. Personal life. Cooper and wife Marianne Leone Cooper, April 2007. Cooper met his future wife, Marianne Leone, in 1979 at an acting class in New York City. 348 On their first date, she helped him carry sheetrock up 8 flights of stairs. That's when I knew this was the girl for me. 4. They married in July 1983. 2-3 Their son, Jesse Lanier Cooper 20 was born 3 months prematurely in October 1987. 21 3 days after he was born, Jesse suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and developed cerebral palsy.
6/21/22 Jesse was eventually mainstreamed into Silver Lake Regional High School, where he became an honor student. 2021 Cooper recalled in a 2003 interview with The Morning Call, "Jesse is the best thing that ever happened to us. He's in a wheelchair and he communicates only by computer, but he's taught me so much because he's just so incredibly focused. Now he's in a regular school, which we fought to get him into. He's an honors student, and he's doing great." 6. On January 3, 2005, Jesse Cooper died suddenly and unexpectedly from epilepsy. 2021 A memorial fund was set up in his name, the Jesse Cooper Foundation. 23 Cooper has said that the death of his son has somewhat helped him understand several characters he played, such as Charles Aiken in August, Osage County, 2013, 24 and Phil Eastwood in Demolition, 2015. 25. Cooper formerly maintained residences in Hoboken, New Jersey, and Plymouth, Massachusetts. 8 As of 2003, he resides in Kingston, Massachusetts. 26-27 He has been close friends with frequent collaborator John Sayles since 1985. 8/28 On May 14, 2016, Cooper received an honorary doctorate from the University of Massachusetts Lowell. 29. He and his wife Marianne adopt and live with rescue dogs. Clive Owen, born October 3, 1964, is an English actor. He first gained recognition in the United Kingdom for playing the lead role in the ITV series Chancer from 1990 to 1991. He received critical acclaim for his work in the film Close My Eyes, 1991, before earning international attention for his performance as a struggling writer in Croupier, 1998. In 2005, he won a Golden Globe and a BAFTA Award and was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in the drama Closer, 2004. Owen has played leading roles in films such as Sin City, 2005, Derailed, 2005, Inside Man, 2006, Children of Men, 2006, and The International, 2009. In 2012, he earned his first Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Miniseries or a Movie for his role in Hemingway and Gellhorn. He played Dr. John W. Thackeray on the Cinemax medical drama series The Nick, for which he received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Television Series Drama nomination. In 2021, Owen starred in the psychological romance horror miniseries Lizzie's Story and also portrayed President Bill Clinton in the third season of American Crime Story. He then had further television roles in A Murder at the End of the World, 2023, and Monsieur Spade, 2024. Early life. Owen was born in Keresley, Coventry, then in Warwickshire, one the fourth of 5 sons born to Pamela, née Cotton, and Jess Owen. His father, a country and western singer, left the family when Owen was 3 years old, and despite a brief reconciliation when Owen was 19, they have remained estranged. 2-3 He has described his childhood as rough. 2. While initially opposed to drama school, he changed his mind in 1984, after a long and fruitless period of searching for work. After graduating from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art he worked at the Young Vic, performing in several Shakespearean plays. 5. Career. Early career. Initially, Owen's career was in television. In 1988, he starred as Gideon Sarn in a BBC production of Precious Bane and the Channel 4 film Vroom before the 1990s saw him become a regular on stage and television in the UK, notably his lead role in the ITV series Chancer, followed by an appearance in the Thames television production of Lorna Doone. He won critical acclaim for his performances in the Stephen Poliakoff film Close My Eyes, 1991, about a brother and sister who embark on an incestuous love affair. He subsequently appeared in The Magician, Class of '61, Century, Nobody's Children, An Evening with Gary Lineker, Doomsday Gun, Return of the Native and a Carlton production called Charmin, about a private detective.
In 1996, he appeared in his first major Hollywood film The Rich Man's Wife alongside Halle Berry, followed by an unforgettable lead performance as Max in Bent_1997 film, in 1997. He then found international acclaim in a Channel 4 film directed by Mike Hodges called Croupier, 1998. In Croupier, he played the title role of a struggling writer who takes a job in a London casino as inspiration for his work, only to get caught up in a robbery scheme. In 1999, he appeared as an accident-prone driver in Split Second, his first BBC production in about a decade. Owen starred in The Echo, a BBC One drama, before starring in the film Green Fingers, about a criminal who goes to work in a garden. He appeared in the BBC One mystery series Second Sight. In 2001, he provided the voiceover for Walk On By, a BBC Two documentary about popular music, as well as starring in a highly acclaimed theatre revival of Peter Nichols' play A Day in the Death of Joe Egg, about a couple with a severely disabled daughter. Subsequent work: Owen at the Children of Men premiere in Mexico City, 2000.